Hi, and welcome to Rec Talk. I'm your host, Richelle Williams, coming to you from Western Washington University, where I'm the Aquatics and Youth Programs Coordinator. I'm going to talk to you today about 8 steps to building workplace relationships. After moving every 2 to 3 years during my adult life, I have quite a few workplace experiences that have shaped the way I build relationships with my staff and coworkers alike, which is why I thought this would be a good talk. A couple disclaimers to keep in mind. Not all coworkers want to be friends, and that's perfectly fine. It can be a hard fact to accept as a young professional. Some people have workplace personalities and home personalities. Keep an open mind about someone's tone or behavior at work before you pass judgment. How people behave at work might not be their authentic self. Feel the office vibe out before adding everybody on social media. Not everyone likes to have their coworkers on their social media page. Also think hard before adding staff on social media. Also, work besties are a gift from the universe. So, welcome to my first tip, which is say hi and ask the right questions. So, does your office have windows or a glass wall? Do your employees or coworkers walk by all the time? Make sure to make eye contact, wave, say hello. Create a welcoming environment that will encourage people to come in and chat. The simplest way to do this is to have an open door and or make an effort to talk to your employees when you see them. Don't just ask, how are you? Ask a tell me question. That can be, tell me what was the best part of your day so far, or tell me your plans for the weekend. These questions encourage more interaction than I'm fine. If you're taking the time to engage with your employees or coworkers, they are going to take the energy to respond, and it is in your best interest to retain this information. The second tip is to create personal connections. Create personal connections through finding common ground. One of the best ways to do this is through asking thoughtful questions. Find commonality and build from there. It is important to intentionally interact with everybody in your workplace. Waving and saying hello as you walk by goes a long way, but stopping in and chatting for a few minutes really leaves an impression and begins to build rapport. Listening is also very important, which is why it's my third step. So if someone makes an effort to stop in, be present. For me, when an employee or coworker comes in, I try to turn off my monitors and give them my full attention. Turning all electronics off or over helps make eye contact a priority and also helps you actually listen to what is being said. While actively listening, you can recognize the opportunity to ask questions and interject and contribute as need. These habits will help create genuine dialogue. The fourth and probably the most important step is to be your most authentic self. As I previously mentioned, there are some people who have a workplace personality and a home personality. This works for some people that are not looking to build relationships that are more than surface level, and again, that's totally fine. That's their prerogative. When working in environments with coworkers like this, I have found that there is a little bit of a lack of trust sometimes and also a tense work environment. I 100% recommend putting forth your most authentic, work appropriate self 100% of the time. Don't put on a front. Employees and coworkers alike can tell if it's fake. Own it. Own who you are and bring positive attributes and talents to the table. My fifth step is to set boundaries. It's important while being your most authentic self to set boundaries. With direct employees, it's extremely important to be relatable without crossing the line and compromising respect. I try not to ask personal questions unless the topic is brought up by the employee. Before I share a personal experience or story from the weekend with employees, I think, would my boss be okay with me telling them this story? If you wouldn't tell your boss, you shouldn't tell your employees. With coworkers, it helps to keep it light and appropriate until you build rapport. Get to know them, build respect and trust before crossing personal boundaries. I personally encourage my staff to leave their emotional baggage or crisis for the day at the door when they walk in. Check your baggage at the door is what I like to say. Work should be a safe space and a place where they can focus on work. I try to do the same thing personally with everything that's happening in my life outside of work. The sixth step is to not isolate yourself. Office locations can be tough. I have an office on the pool deck for years, and a lot of times I'm on the opposite end of the building from people, which I actually love. It gives me the opportunity to get out of my office and walk a lap around the building and check in with everybody a couple times a day. If your office is not open with your employees' workspace, it allows you a chance to leave your office and check in with them. Leaving your space and walking and talking with coworkers and employees opens up your office for people to pop in. The 7th step is to enjoy team building activities. Many people are resistant to mandatory fun or team building activities, but I love them. They're such a wonderful opportunity for coworkers to come together, whether it's we hate heights or we love bowling. Potlucks, ropes courses, game nights, the list is endless. And especially if it's something that scares you, I personally hate ropes courses, I hate heights, but I can't tell you how many of them I've done because I think it really helps other people get to know me better because they see me in a really vulnerable spot. And my last tip is to engage and facilitate peer-to-peer recognition. Many employers have no idea how much positive affirmation can motivate an employee. Not only is it important to tell your employees you appreciate them regularly, but also creating a peer-to-peer recognition program for your employees gives them a sense of ownership and empowers them to recognize their peers. This creates a positive work environment and increases staff morale. So again, my takeaways for today are say hi, ask the right questions, create personal connections, listen, be your most authentic self, set boundaries, do not isolate yourself, enjoy team building activities, and engage in and facilitate in peer-to-peer recognition. Thanks so much. You can reach me by email if